In this video, we're going to cover the fundamentals of absorption and variable costing. Absorption costing is one way of assigning costs to units, and this is a more traditional method. This method takes all manufacturing costs, also known as product costs, that are incurred during the period, and it spreads them across the number of units that were produced during the period. That gives you your cost per unit. Other costs incurred by the company that are period costs are expensed immediately. The reason I say that this is the regular method or the most common is because this is the method that you see when you see companies creating regular external financial statements. When a company is using this kind of costing and preparing a financial statement, they're going to prepare a regular financial income statement format, which calculates your gross profit and then goes on to calculate your operating income. This is different than variable costing, which takes only the variable manufacturing costs, or also known as the variable product costs, and spreads those across all units that were manufactured during the period. All of the other costs incurred in the company are expensed immediately. This method is only used for internal reporting. It cannot be used for external reporting. So this report would be used only by managers in companies who choose to use it. If a company uses this method, they're going to prepare an income statement using the contribution margin format. This format takes sales and subtracts out variable cost to get to the contribution margin, and then it subtracts out fixed costs to get to the operating income. So let's take a look at an example and see how this would work. We have a company that manufactures 100 units during the period, and they sell 70, and they sell them for $120 each. Then we have our list of costs. You've got variable and fixed manufacturing cost, and then variable and fixed selling and administrative costs. All four cost types are going to be accounted for. It's just that they may be accounted for differently under different methods. So this problem wants us to go through and determine the net income or loss during the period, as well as the ending inventory, using both absorption and variable costing. If we use absorption costing, the first thing that we need to do is we need to calculate our cost per unit and then our cost of goods sold. So in absorption costing, remember all manufacturing costs are taken into consideration when determining the cost per unit. So we had variable manufacturing costs of $2,000 and fixed manufacturing costs of $1,000. So we had total costs of $3,000. Those are called inventoriable costs because they get assigned to the inventory and spread across the units that are produced. We're then going to take that and divide it by the number of units produced, which was 100, so our cost per unit was 30. Then if we want to find our cost of goods sold, we'll take that cost per unit and multiply it by the number of units sold, so 30 times 70, and that gives us a total cost of goods sold of $2,100. So then if we wanted to calculate the net income, we'll take our sales. We said that we sold 70 units for $120 each, so that's going to give me $8,400. We'll subtract out the cost of goods sold that we calculated up above, $2,100. That gives me a gross margin or gross profit of $6,300. Then I'm going to subtract out my other two cost types. Whatever doesn't get spread across the number of units that were manufactured gets expensed immediately. So the things that did not get included in inventoriable costs were those selling and administrative costs, also known as your period costs. And so those are the two things that get expensed immediately in this calculation. So gross margin of $6,300 minus our variable selling and administrative period costs, $1,500, also minus our fixed selling and administrative period costs, $3,000, gives me a net income of $1,800. If I want to calculate my ending inventory, Then I will simply go back and look at my cost per unit. So the top of this calculation we just saw in the previous slide, calculating our cost per unit at 30. We're going to multiply the 30 times the number of unsold units, which was also 30, coincidentally, and we had ending inventory of 900 under absorption costing. If we want to do this calculation under variable costing, we're going to look at our inventoriable costs here. And remember, only variable manufacturing costs are used. The other three cost types are expensed immediately. So the variable manufacturing costs are the only inventoriable costs we have, 2,000, and we're going to spread that across the number of units produced, which was 100. So now we have a cost per unit of 20. We're going to multiply that by the number of units sold, which was 70, and we have a cost of goods sold of 1,400 this time. So when we come down here to do our income statement, we have sales, and they're the same as they were before. We sold each unit at $120. We sold 70 units, 8,400. But now we're going to subtract out our cost of goods sold. This was 1,400. And this cost of goods sold represents variable manufacturing costs that was assigned to units sold. Everything else gets expensed immediately. But we're not doing the same kind of income statement that we were doing under absorption costing. We're not just doing a regular financial statement. When we use variable costing, remember we use the contribution margin format income statement. So that means that we take sales and we subtract out our variable costs that were assigned during the period, and then we separately subtract out fixed costs. So when we do this, we have the cost of goods sold. This is a variable cost, again, related to variable manufacturing overhead, but we also have to subtract out variable selling and administrative costs. Unlike the variable manufacturing costs, these are expensed entirely. The full amount of variable selling and administrative costs was $1,500, and that's what gets subtracted out here. Unlike the variable manufacturing costs, which only gets expensed out when the units are sold, the variable selling and administrative costs get expensed out immediately. It's just that they happen to be up here in the same section with the cost of goods sold because it also represents a variable cost. So sales minus your cost of goods sold based on the number of units sold, then our full variable selling and administrative costs. When we subtract these two out, we have a contribution margin of $5,500. Then to finish out this income statement, we subtract out our fixed costs from both of our categories. So we have fixed manufacturing cost and fixed selling and administrative costs of $1,000 and $3,000 respectively. We have net income of $1,500. Then when we do our calculation for our ending inventory, the top part of this calculation was done in the previous slide. Our cost per unit is $20. We're going to multiply that by the number of unsold units of 30, and we have ending inventory of 600. This ends the brief tutorial on absorption and variable costing. Please let me know if you have any questions.